back. I thought I'd do a bit of a introduction to this video. Reason being is the last video you saw on this channel was introducing the new topic, which was Ron Weasley's house from Harry Potter. I've been working on it and filming it since I last uploaded, and honestly it ain't going how I pictured it in my mind, and I'm getting a bit frustrated with it, so I've put it to one side for a bit. I've kept all the footage and I'm gonna leave it for a little bit and just I'll get back to it at some point when my mind's in the right place for it. It's been a bit of an off-putting build because it's just not happening how I want it to happen. I can't get it to look like what I want it to look like and so on. I'm just not real happy with it at the moment. Anyway, moving forward, I've actually decided to start trying a different style of build. It's more what the builders who play like Dungeons and Dragons and games like that would build. What I kind of call fantasy or cartoon type style building. I hope you don't find that description offensive. I don't know what else to call it. I've never played these tabletop games and I've no real interest in playing them as such, but I really do like the stuff that they build for it, the cottages and castles and so on, and the style that they are painted in and things like that. I've come to really like it, so I've decided to have a go at it myself. The first thing I'm going to have a go at is a witch's, what did they call it? A witch's hut or a hag's hut or something like that. Now, as luck would have it, my wife brought me home a really thick cardboard tube from where she works from. It's the cardboard tube that they get like cellophane wrap and wrap pallets of stuff up with, you know what I mean? And then she's brought me the tube home, and I thought, well, that'll make an ideal base for this witch's hut that I want to try out building. So I haven't filmed any of this bit because it's just a little bit of marking out and a little bit of cutting. But basically, this is where I'm starting. The tube is about 3 inches. I've cut the length of the tube about 3 inches tall. I've marked out a door at about 1 3/4 inches, and then the window at whatever size that is. I ain't got a clue. I didn't even measure it, I just laid it out. And what I plan to do is cut the window out completely, and I may or may not do the door yet. I ain't quite decided, but I'm finding it's taking quite some doing because this tube is absolutely solid. It is so hard you won't believe it. It's just like compact cardboard rolled up, and you can see how thick it is. Not quite a 1/4 inch thick, but near damn it. So I'm just going with a little hobby knife round the edges and peeling the layers away, and eventually I'll get all the way through it, and I suppose when I get to that point I'll come back and show you what I've done. Right, so I've got the window carved out all the way through. I was going to carve the door all the way out as well, but I've decided against it because doing that window was bad enough. What I actually ended up doing was getting my drill and more or less drilling it out and then just cleaning it up with the craft knife. So what I think I'll do for the door, because I do want a little bit of light eventually to shine through the door, is I will drill a fair size hole there, fit the door, and cut the window as well. I aren't messing about cutting the whole thing out. This is so thick and so packed hard. It's just, I think I've gone through a couple of blades already just doing that little bit. So it has left it, can you see where the window is? It has left it a little bit rough on the inside, but I ain't bothered about that. I'm just going to paint the inside black, and you probably never see it anyway. So I think the next thing I'm going to do is give this a coat of PVA and black paint mix, because I don't have Mod Podge. I mean, they say it adds strength, but really it don't need it, but it'll give it a good base coat from what I've learned up to now. And then on to the next bit. Right, so what I've got here is some thin strips of polystyrene. All I'm doing is taking a craft knife and scraping the edge, scraping the corners. All 4 of them. Trying not to snap it. But then again, I suppose if it does snap, it don't really matter. And that just kind of sort of half rounds it off a bit. Then what I'm doing is cutting thin slices, not all exactly the same, just to give it a bit of variety, and so on like that. And then eventually, hopefully, I'll be able to glue them to the side of the tube. This is like regular packaging polystyrene, so probably not the most ideal material, but as I say, hopefully sticking them to the side of the tube, they might represent, hopefully might represent kind of like, you know, stone built wall, stone built building. So as soon as I've got enough, I'm going to start sticking them to the tube. Right, okay, I've decided to go in a slightly different direction with material wise. I found a little bit of the, I think they call it XPS foam, the insulation foam board. So I've just cut myself a thin slice off. I'll now cut it into strips and then into individual bricks. The reason I chose this, it seems to be that little bit less bitty than you know, the polystyrene I was using, and I don't know, it seems to be what people tend to use more than anything else. So what I'm going to do now is just cut the strips and then cut the bricks. Right, okay, I've only got a few bricks cut, but I'm going to try and get a bottom row established and see how they go. What I've done is I've cut the bricks on an angle because I'm going round a circle bit, just eliminates any big gaps at the front, I suppose. Okay, I've got that first row of bricks on. I've left a little bit of variation in width and thickness of brick, intentionally, because I think that's how it'd be. One thing I forgot to mention earlier, the first thing I did was actually put the door arch in, again leaving width, thickness, depth, whatever you want to call it, just to give that a bit more texture and a bit more visual interest, hopefully. So excuse me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to let that dry up for a bit to give it a better foundation to continue building on, and I'll be right back. Right, so there we go. The main of the brickwork in place. I've also added the door. I think there's going to be a little bit of trimming here and there, because some of the bricks, obviously like over the window there, that needs trimming back. I think some of the bricks might be a bit too proud. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe a little bit of filling in the odd gap here and there. But other than that, I'm pretty happy with it. I know it looks rough, but I wanted it to. It's not supposed to be the Mayor's Palace or whatever. It's just supposed to be a witch's hut or hag's hut, whatever you want to call it. So I'm going to let that set up and go on to the next stage. So I've just been sat watching a bit of TV, spent a bit of time, and I've got the shingles glued onto the roof for the Hags Hut or Witch's Cabin, whatever you feel like calling it. I'm only going that high with the shingles, and I'm going to find or make some sort of pointy thing to stick on the top to finish it off, and then give it a coat of paint. There are some rather large gaps, as you can see, between the shingles, but what I plan to do is make up some moss and pack some moss in the gaps, you know, just to hide it, and that should be that sorted out.